right, good evening, good afternoon, and good morning, depending where you are in the world. Where I am in Maryland, which is a state in the United States, it is 5 p.m. on Tuesday, February 18th. And this is the time that I always do these live videos each week, 5 p.m. Eastern Time on Tuesdays. First things first, let's see who's here. I see Evelyn is here, first person to comment. Evelyn says, "Hello, Mike. I'm ready to learn something new." So, that will depend. It will depend on whether or not people ask questions that have not been asked before, and we will see. But I hope so too. Rhea is here. I'm glad to join your live today. I truly appreciate your passion for your work. Thanks a lot. Thank you, Rhea, and I appreciate you as well. As you know, I see your comments on YouTube multiple times every day, and I really appreciate them. Sapito here as usual, waiting for the lesson. Well, wait no longer because we are beginning. I see Sapito also said you were the best teacher. Thank you. Guerma is here. Jane is here. Oh, Ava is here. Beata is also here. I don't know if I've seen your name before, but thank you for joining. Ursula, Ahmed, hello everyone. All right, so for anyone who is new here, maybe you've never seen one of my videos before. I'm Teacher Mike. I'm an ESL teacher, which means English as a second language, and I actually don't teach in a language center anymore. I just create videos for social media. But I did spend 10 years living in Thailand where I worked full time teaching adults to speak English. Now, obviously, I'm in the United States and I just make these videos. First question. I'd like to upgrade my language from B2 to C1. What should I do? So for anyone who doesn't know, first also thank you, Zainab, for your question. Um, so B2 is basically intermediate, advanced intermediate. C1 is advanced, almost to the level of a native speaker. The It depends what you have been doing. I don't know exactly what you have been doing, but basically, you need to work. This isn't always true, but sometimes I find that when you're trying to get from B2 to C1, you need to just try harder instead of just watching random videos. Oh, this looks fun, this looks fun. You need to really think about what your weaknesses are and strategically focus on those weaknesses. That, or just really increase the amount of time that you spend listening to English, studying English, and speaking English. Um, there's a saying, and that saying is, what got you here will not get you there. So the things that you did to get to this level might not be enough to get you to the next level. And here I am talking about English. This applies to learning a language. Many people get stuck at an intermediate level because basically people often get to an intermediate level kind of by accident. Like they just, oh, do this, do this, do this, do this. Oh, this is fun. This is interesting. And you can get to an intermediate level by doing that. but you're not going to get to a really advanced level by doing that unless you do it all day, every day. Um, so that's what I want you to think about is you need to be strategic. You need to assess yourself. You need to think about what are my strengths? What are my weaknesses? What things can I do to improve on these? Good question. I see Irena is also here. Thank you for joining. Anna Silver, Ayakalat. Hello, everyone. Okay. What is the difference between other and another? Um, so I actually have a full video about this on YouTube. So I recommend searching for that video on my YouTube channel or on my Facebook page, but it's easier to search for videos on YouTube. Um, but basically, other is often used with plural nouns. For example, other people, other pens, other books. Another means one more. So it's used with singular nouns. Another person, another pen, another book. But yeah, I also have a full video about this already on YouTube and on Facebook, and it explains how to use other, the other, another, others, and the others, all in one short video. If you want to learn more about that, I recommend searching for it because I'm not going to talk about all of those right now. Also, for anyone who is new here, these live lessons are usually about 30 to 45 minutes long. It really depends if I have to go anywhere or do anything else later in that day, but they're never longer than 1 hour. So if you're joining this live right now and you're wondering, should I watch the whole thing? Do I have time to watch the whole thing? We will probably continue for 30 more minutes. And if you have to leave, you can always come back and watch it later also because I do save these videos to my Facebook page and to my YouTube channel. Alberto, hello, teacher Mike. Hopefully you're doing fine today. I've got a question. How can I identify separable and inseparable phrasal verbs? First thing, similar to the last question, I already have a video. Actually, I think I have 2 or 3 videos in which I talk about how to learn phrasal verbs. And I recommend watching those videos. But basically, you're not really going to know if they are separable or if they are inseparable. The way that you learn is by listening to how people use them or reading and seeing how we use them or look them up when you see a new one. Look them up. Ask ChatGPT or Google, is this phrasal verb separable or inseparable? Because there's not really one rule that's going to help you know about every phrasal verb in the world. You just need to learn this one, then learn this one, then learn this one. It takes time. It's not easy, but there's not really a rule that tells you all of these are separable, all of these are inseparable. Just learn them one by one. When you find a new one, try to learn as much about it as you can. That's it. But I do recommend watching those videos that I have on YouTube because there is a little bit more information that you might find useful. Good question. Wojciech, hello. You say, I'm just here to quickly say hi to everyone because I have to get up early tomorrow. So I'm not going to stick around for long. I'm going to share that with everyone because stick around is a nice phrasal verb. And we were just talking about phrasal verbs. Um, to stick around is an informal way to say, stay here, don't go anywhere. So if a friend visits you and they say, "Okay, I'm going to go now. I don't want to bother you. Goodbye." You can say, "Oh no, it's fine. You should stick around for a while. I'll make some tea, I'll make some coffee. You should stick around and hang out." So thank you. Thank you for using that and giving me the opportunity to talk about it. How to sound like an American. Do that. Um, no, so first thing, there are lots of different Americans. Um, I think what you mean is like, how do I develop a general American accent? And it's important that we say a general American accent because there are lots and lots and lots of different American accents. Um, for example, my dad's cousins do not sound like me. They sound very different from me because they grew up in a different part of the United States. Um, so there are many accents in the US. But in general, a lot of the American accents that you will hear on TV and in Hollywood are pretty standard. They're not very regional. Um, so basically, watch TV, make sure that it's American TV with American people, and try to repeat what you hear. And do that every day. You The reason that we have accents is basically we get them from the people who we spend time around. So if you want to try to develop an accent, spend more time around American people. And by that, I really mean watch TV, watch movies with American people, and try to repeat what you hear. Gerardo from Mexico, right on the border with Guatemala. I read that backwards. I thought you said from Guatemala on the border with Mexico. Okay, well, thank you. Thank you for joining and thank you for introducing yourself. Ava asked, is there a chance you will write a third ebook? If I may suggest something, I would like it to be a grammar compendium with many example sentences. Um, So Ava has obviously bought both of my first two ebooks and she liked them, so she wants me to write a third one. Thank you again, Ava. And I appreciate your suggestion. She wants me to write a book about all of the different tenses and grammar with lots of examples. And that is something that I might do in the future. However, I'm already working on a third ebook right now. And actually, I'm almost done writing it. Um, I've written about 95% of it, but I need to spend maybe 2 or 3 more weeks editing it and making sure that it's really exactly how I want it to be, because this one is going to be really special. I think it's going to be even more useful than my first two ebooks. Um, Also, I'll send the link down below for anyone who does not have my ebooks and might be interested in buying them. Give me one moment, please. So, my first ebook, I think everyone who's watching this probably already knows this, but there will be more people who come and watch this later in the future, so I'm explaining it one more time. Um, my first ebook was about 8 ways to practice speaking without a partner. So maybe you don't have anyone to practice with. How can you practice? Because practicing speaking is really important. You're never going to be able to speak well if you don't practice speaking. So I wrote this book to help people understand the different things that they can do to practice, even if they don't have a partner. Um, my second ebook is about how to learn to, or how to learn to think in English. Um, so, thinking in English is really important if you want to be able to speak with fluency and confidence. Yes, some people can become confident even though they translate everything in their heads. But in general, you don't want to do that. You don't want to translate everything in your head. That is an extra step that slows you down and makes speaking more difficult. So, my second ebook is about how to learn to think in English and stop translating everything. Um, okay, and I'm sending the link to those ebooks in the comments right now. So, for anyone who has not bought them and is interested, the link is now in the comments. Each book is $12.99, or you can buy both of them together for $19.99, or it might be $18.99. I can't actually remember, but it's a $1 difference. Also, can you please let me know in the comments, does that link work? Sometimes I send it and it works. Sometimes I send it and it doesn't work. So please, someone check the link that I sent and let me know, yes, it works, or no, it doesn't work. Um, but back to my third ebook. Um, this one is actually, so my most popular video on YouTube is about how to make practicing English a part of your daily routine and how to practice English every day. So this I have to, MD Jahorul Islam, please stop sending that message. If you send it one more time, I'm going to block you. Please do not send the same thing again and again. It's really annoying. It makes it very difficult for me to read the comments. Please stop, or I'm going to block you. Um, so my most popular video on YouTube is about, okay, Jitka says, I can see the link. Mito says it doesn't work. Ermias says it does work. Okay, I'm going to check. I'm going to check myself to see whether it works, because some people are saying that it works and some people are saying that it doesn't work. Okay, I actually can't see the link from my own account, but Evelyn says it works. I trust Evelyn. Thank you very much, Evelyn. Wojciech, same thing. Thank you very much. Okay, so for anyone who is interested in getting the ebooks, please click that link that's in the comments. Renata, I see your comment also. Thank you very much. Sending it one more time just to make sure everyone can see it. If you want my ebooks and you don't yet have them, please click that link. It says Get My Ebooks, teachermikeenglish.teachable.com. So the third ebook that I'm writing is, I'm taking that YouTube video that I have that's about 20 minutes long, it's kind of difficult to watch. The information is really good, but it's kind of difficult to watch because it's just me talking, talking, talking for about 20 minutes. So this ebook that I'm writing right now, it takes all of the information from that video plus all of the information from about 10 other videos and puts it all together into a really detailed guide that tells you how you can use different activities in your daily life to make learning English a part of your daily routine and really improve your English. Um, so I'm really excited for this new ebook, but it is going to be probably at least 2 more weeks before this one becomes available. So yes, Eva, thank you for your question, and thank you for giving me the opportunity to advertise my ebooks one more time for anyone who does not yet have them. Okay, very good. But yeah, I'm excited for that ebook. I think it's going to be even more useful than my first two. Okay, back to questions from all of you. Jean-Pierre, I see your question. However, I am not a high school teacher. I don't have experience teaching high school writing. Most of my experience with writing is for teaching writing is business reports, business emails, things like that, not academic writing. Okay, so this question is oh, this is not the question I tried to click on. I like sports. How can I use sports to enhance your fluency? Um, Actually, I like this question. So if you want to use sports to become more fluent in English, when you watch them in English. But remember, listening does not make you fluent. When you hear things, you need to repeat them and practice saying them. So, when you're watching a sports game on TV in English, repeat the things that you hear. And then, when you're finished watching it, talk to yourself about what happened. Okay, so I just watched a football game, and this team played against this team. This person kicked a goal. This happened. This happened. Talk about the game. Talk to yourself. Or start a club with 2 or 3 of your friends and tell them, hey, we're going to watch sports together. We're also going to improve our English. So, 3 o'clock every Saturday, I'm going to buy some beer and we're going to sit down and watch a football game and speak English together. You don't have to buy beer, especially if you're in a country where people don't drink alcohol, but it's just an example. It could be tea or cake or whatever you want. Hi, Teacher Mike. This is from Linda. How can we learn to speak English fluently in a short time? The first thing is that you need to understand what it means to speak fluently. Speak fluently does not mean speak perfectly. Speak fluently does not mean understand everything. Speak fluently does not mean have perfect grammar. Speak fluently does not mean have perfect pronunciation. Speak fluently, this is what I need you to understand, is that speak fluently just means that you can express your ideas quickly and easily without thinking too much, without translating too much. but it doesn't mean that your language is perfect. It just means that you can use the language pretty easily and naturally, even if there are mistakes. So now that we understand that, um, you can become quite fluent in a short period of time. Um, the most important things that you need to do are listen to English every day, practice speaking every day. The more you do it, the faster it will happen. Um, I mean, you can become like fluent but not very good in just a few months. You might be missing a lot of vocabulary, but you'll be able to understand basic things and express basic ideas easily in just a few months if you practice every day. Now, if you mean that you want to speak really, really well, that is going to take a lot more time. But you do the same thing. You listen every day, you speak every day, you study every day, you focus on your weaknesses. The more you do it, the faster it will happen. But remember, it's not normal to speak fluently in a short period of time. I don't want you to think that that's normal. I don't want you to think that most people do that, because that is why people feel bad about their English. They feel bad about their English because they think, oh, I've been studying for 5 months and my English still isn't good. 5 months is a really, really short period of time. Most of you will be learning English for years before you feel like, I am very happy with my level of English right now. That is normal. But you can do it quickly if you have a lot of free time and a lot of opportunities. But again, that's not normal. I see the question, which is better for learning English, Meta AI or Chat GPT? I don't know because I have never used Meta AI, and I'm not really interested in using more meta things. It's a good question, but I don't know. I use ChatGPT. But also I'm I'm not learning English, so hi, so you might have missed it when I said this at the beginning of the video, but my live lessons are always at 5 p.m. Eastern Time on Tuesdays. If you don't know what Eastern Time is, you can just Google what is 5 p.m. Eastern Time in my time zone. Also, that was 30 minutes ago. So 30 minutes ago is the time that I start these live lessons every week. Parmiro, Rainbow, Malenga, why you don't answer me? Because I haven't seen your question. I haven't seen your question because I have been speaking and explaining things, and I don't read every comment while I am speaking because no one reads while they are speaking. Um, so where can I find video with business vocabulary? Um, I don't I don't like to I don't like business vocabulary or business English. Listen carefully though. I like to teach English that you can use for business. I like to teach that. However, I don't like to call it that because when doing business and communicating for work, we don't use special language. Usually, we use the same language that we use in everyday situations. Um, there is more formal language and less formal language. And I do have videos about formal language versus informal language. Um, but really, the problem here is I don't want you to think I need to learn all of these special words for business. No, you don't need to learn special words for business. You just need to keep improving your ability to communicate professionally. Um, being polite, using mostly correct grammar, using language that's a little bit more formal. And most of the time when I teach, I try to tell you all this is more formal, this is less formal. Um, so I don't think I have any business English videos. However, I do have one or two videos in which I talk about idioms that are often used in business. If that interests you, you can actually search my YouTube channel. You can search um, business idioms. I think if you search that, you will find those videos. But remember, in modern day 21st century, business communication English is basically the same as the English that we use with our friends and family. We just make it a tiny bit more polite and professional sounding, but overall, 99% of it is the same. And that's a really good question. I wanted to explain that because business English is usually just to sell expensive courses that people don't really need. Trying to speak English with connected speech is so tricky. How can we improve it? So, using connected speech is just um, something that happens. It's not something that you need to try to do. It should happen naturally. You don't make it happen, you let it happen. Um, so connected speech is when we say things like the way that I'm talking right now. There aren't stops between every word unless I want there to be one, because I want you to focus on something. Um, for example, this is, this is. There's no stop between the words. I'm not saying this is, this is. I'm saying this is, this is, this is it, this is it. So that's an example of connected speech. And again, you don't try to do it. The problem is that lots of people who are learning English force a stop between each word. Hello, my name is Mike. Where are you from? And all you need to do is stop doing that. Just relax and just continue speaking. Hi, my name is Mike and I'm from the United States. You don't need to do anything special. You don't need to try to do it. But as you become more and more comfortable speaking a little bit faster, a little bit more smoothly, it will just start to happen naturally. So you don't need to try to make it happen. You can just let it happen. Um, but if you do want to try to make it happen, just listen to English every day and repeat the things that you hear, and repeat them the way that you hear them, because all native speakers use connected speech 99% of the time. I'm doing it this whole time right now. Percent of the time, percent of the time. That's connected speech. I'm not saying percent of the time. I'm saying percent of the time. So when you hear native speakers speaking, just repeat what you hear, the way that you hear it. Don't try to say it the way that you think it should be. Repeat it the way that you hear it. But good question, yeah. Hello, Teacher Mike. Rama, can a non-native English speaker be a great and qualified English instructor? What are the most important qualifications? So yes, 100%, 100%. Yes. I know lots of non-native speakers who are excellent teachers. I've also met a lot of native speakers who are not good teachers. Um, your first language does not determine whether or not you will be a good teacher. What determines whether or not you will be a good teacher is how much you care about your students, how much knowledge you have about teaching, how much experience you have teaching, and how good your English is. And remember, it's possible for non-native speakers to have excellent English, just as good as mine. It's possible. So yeah, of course. Non-native English speakers can be great teachers. Um, the only thing that I will say is that because you are a non-native speaker, you won't always know how good that teacher's English is. Or they might tell you, I speak perfect American English, when actually they don't. And you don't know that because their English is better than yours. So that's the only risk with you learning with a non-native teacher, in my opinion. But if they are an honest person and an experienced teacher, yeah, there's no problem, no problem learning with a non-native teacher. I know lots of excellent non-native teachers. Wojciech, good question. How to use would when speaking about the past? So we use would when talking about the past to talk about things that happened regularly or often, kind of like routine. Um, for example, when I was very young, maybe like 8 years old, my mother would take me to get ice cream after school every Wednesday. Yeah, so it's things that happened again and again and again in the past. Um, so because it's again and again, often it will be with words like always or often or every day, all the time, every week. I lived with my friend, and he would always leave his dirty dishes in the sink. And I have a video about that. Because you are one of my Facebook subscribers, I'm going to find it for you right now on YouTube, and I'm going to send the link in the comments. Give me one moment, please. And you also, you're not supposed to be here. You said you were going to bed early or leaving early. Thank you. Thank you for still being here. I'm finding the video for you. One moment. And everyone, this is not just for Woodchuck, this is for everyone. I highly recommend watching this video. I'm sending it in the comments right now. Um, this video is about the difference between used to, would, and could when talking about the past. These are all very similar, but they all have important differences. So I highly recommend watching that video that I have sent in the comments right now. It is a YouTube link. Um, Ooh, but it's 5:40. We've got to end this. I've got to get going. I have to go pick up my wife from work soon. So yeah, that's the end of our lesson today. I'm sorry I could not answer everyone's questions. Again, obviously I'm human and there are lots and lots of questions. So thank you all very much for your participation. And I'm going to answer one more question because it is from Renata, and she is a member on my YouTube channel. She helps to support my channel. So I am going to answer one more question. How many years did it take you to be fluent in Thai? Do you use this language in your daily life? So, last question. I started learning Thai when I was 16 years old. Now I am 35. So that's like 19 years. Is that correct? Wow. Wait, am I doing that math correctly? Anyways, I've been learning Thai since I was 16. Um, However, I didn't live in Thailand until I was 22. So between 16 and 22, I studied Thai kind of as a hobby. I wasn't very serious about it, and I didn't use it in my daily life. Maybe a couple times per week, I would spend 30 minutes reading a book and repeating some of the phrases. Um, and then there were a few summers where I worked in Thailand for 2 or 3 months, and I used it more when I was there. But I didn't move to Thailand until I was 22. Um, and then I would say that I was fluent when I moved to Thailand, but not perfect at all. Still today, not perfect at all. And this is why it's important to remember what it means to be fluent. Being fluent just means that you can express most of your ideas easily. Um, so, like a lot of the things that I'm saying right now, I could also explain this in Thai. However, there would be some mistakes, and the language wouldn't always be natural. There would be some pronunciation mistakes, but most Thai people would be able to understand what I was saying. It just wouldn't sound great. Um, so I don't have an excellent answer because the way that I studied was like not very serious. And then I lived in the country, but when I was living there, I was working full time speaking English. My job was to speak English. So I really didn't have the opportunity of speaking Thai at work. So most of the day, I was still speaking English. Um, but yeah, I've been learning Thai off and on, never very seriously since I was 16. Um, what language do you use in your daily life? So I'm from the United States. However, my wife is from Thailand. Um, Her English is about the same as my Thai. Her English might be a little bit better than my Thai is now, but we speak about 50-50. So sometimes we speak Thai, sometimes we speak English. I'm sure that lots of you do the same thing. There's some topics where you're used to communicating in one language and another topic where you're used to communicating in another language. So like maybe talking about dinner because we lived in Thailand together for 10 years, that might feel more natural in Thai. Whereas talking about driving, I never drove a car when I was in Thailand. So for me, talking about that in English feels more natural. But yeah, interesting question. Thank you for being a member on YouTube also. But yeah, you guys, that's it. Also, last thing, one more member on YouTube, Douglas Basi Costa. Thank you very much. He says, "Hello, teacher. Nice to be here. Great video as always." Thank you, Douglas. Thank you for being a member. Thank you for helping to support my channel. But yeah, that's it. And don't forget, check out the video in the comments. The video is about how to use used to, would, and could. And if you haven't got the ebook yet, the link is also there. Ebooks. The link is also down there. The teachable.com link. That is where you can get both of my 2 ebooks. Yeah, thank you all very much for joining today, and have a wonderful rest of your week.